All right, folks, it is 1 o'clock on the East Coast, and welcome to another lesson here. And by the way, if you're in here and I can see people have filed in already, be sure to say hello. Steve Sleeper says, "Where's Ray?" Well, it's 1 o'clock, and I'm right here, Steve. But I appreciate you pulling that stuff. That's fun. Okay. All right, so let's see what's going on here, folks. Everybody who's on here, give me a good hello so we can get ourselves started. We can talk a little bit about what's going on. And I'm not going to start until somebody says hi. I want to make sure you can hear me. Anyone? I don't have the confidence until I know that somebody hears me. Hopefully Steve did. Steve said, "Where's Ray?" But that was before I got on here. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to go back, and there we go. All right, Jessica, Kevin. All right, excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk. Michael Waters says hello, Michael. Good to have you on. We're going to talk a little bit. And first of all, one thing I'm going to do before we even go any further with that is I'm going to adjust that camera a little bit because I am looking a little blown out there. Oh, that's worse. Give me 1 second here. Let's change that beat a little bit. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. Looking a little more natural. Even better. Don't worry. You won't have to see me for too long because I will switch to my screen in a minute anyway. So, all right. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk a little bit about where Donald Trump Sleeper is here too. Excellent. Well, there it is, folks. What have I told you every single week for the last about 20 weeks now? The minute that we get onto one of these things, somebody's going to call me on the phone. I really need to learn to turn that sucker off because it's every single time. And I think we can go back every week and see that. But today we're going to talk about where we've come, what we've gotten done, and the results that we've gotten from it, because we've talked a lot about social media marketing. We've talked a lot about video marketing. We've talked a lot about reputation. We've talked a lot about Google My Business and everything in between. So what I wanted to do today was kind of talk about, what kind of results we've gotten out of this. And if any of you have any questions while we go through this, throw them out there. Let me know what kind of questions you have about some of the things that we've done with local marketing or things that you're trying to do with local marketing so that we can, make sure that you get out of this exactly what you need. So going back a little bit as a quick update. So we are still at this point in time, and I wish I'm going to share with you a few of the struggles that we have. Hey, Stu, good to have you on here. I'm going to share with you a couple of the struggles that we have currently going on because, it'll take a little while to figure some of these things out and fix some of them. So the first one is, hey, Kevin, good to have you on here. Yes, Kevin, there are recordings of the past webinars, and I will share that link. It's raislinks.com/LMM, and I will throw that into the chat later on when I get a second to do so. So now we have somebody walking through the front door. So I'm not sure who that is. And it is my loving son here who has come to visit. We're live on a webinar. What's happening?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot, he says. So, but the funny thing is, so officially I've been here all day. We started the webinar 5 minutes ago. We've already gotten a phone call and somebody walking in, and we didn't have any of that all day long. So Michael says he has a bouncy house rental business, a wedding and event business in Utah, and looking forward to getting, better clients. Excellent. Yeah, Michael and I'm well familiar with Michael's bouncy house business. We have discussed that in the past, but what I want to show you right now is where we're at on, I don't know if I want to say the negative side, but just kind of where we're coming from. And we've talked about this in the past. We are still at this point in time for the next little while stuck with, and there's another phone call. And this time it was Steve Sleeper trying to be a smart aleck here. So that was him calling on purpose to say he did so. I think Steve is on something today because he's acting a little strange. Anyway, here is what we're stuck with still. This is the absolutely lovely website that we have for our business out in California. And to give you a little background to this, we do our bookings through a company called Fair Harbor. And Fair Harbor, they do bookings and they do money collection and all of that stuff for your business. And as a part of that, mostly because I think they don't want to deal with people that have their own websites who can mess things up, they will actually provide you with a website. And the website that we have for the original place that we have, which was Escape Plan, now Impossible Escape Loganville. This is the old website here. This one, they provide completely for free. So they build you a website, and it's a WordPress-based site, and you can do whatever you want with this, but they provide it for you. And we had a little issue because they were supposed to provide this website, a website for this one here, and they were supposed to have it like next Tuesday. Well, I then got a message and said, "Oh, we didn't tell you we'd have it by last Tuesday. It's going to take another 6 to 8 weeks." So we're kind of stuck with this one for a little bit, but we're actually not going to go with the Fair Harbor free website that they give you. We're actually bringing in a website guy who's building an entirely new website platform, not only for each of the locations, but for a corporate site. So we're going to have kind of an impossibleescape.com website on there. You can choose any of the locations that we have, and then each of those locations will have their own website. And so he's going to be creating those for us so that we'll have those hopefully not take 6 to 8 weeks. In fact, it should be a lot quicker than that. And then we'll get rid of this lovely website that we have here. So that's one of the areas that we've kind of run into. Now, this website, as ugly as it is actually doing well. The marketing that we've been doing in the last couple of weeks since we got everything, up and running, has actually started working, and we're actually booking up a lot more than they ever have before. On Saturday, they had quite a few rooms. Even yesterday, they had like 5 or 6 rooms on a Tuesday, which is really, really good. So that's exciting. So that's where we're stuck with this. Now, another area that we're kind of stuck with, and I was actually, I was on hold with Yelp for the last hour, and I had to actually just finally give up because we had to get the webinar started. But Yelp has, for whatever reason, decided that this is our business name, and no matter how many times I've tried to tell them that we are no longer Escape Plan Georgia, and however many times I have put in the new name of the company, et cetera, they keep switching it back. So with Yelp, when you go in here and you make any changes, so if we were to come down here into Yelp and let's do our business info, you can come in here and you can make some changes to your page if it ever loads. And by the way, I was having trouble with Yelp earlier today too. It doesn't seem to want to load anything. So let's try that again. Hopefully we can get it to pop up here. But basically they give you the opportunity to change the name. Escape from the election room, Mark says. Yeah, no kidding, right? That's kind of some advertising I did last night was escape the election, come play a game. All right. So for whatever reason now, Yelp is not playing well anyway, so it's not popping up here. But basically what it would have is it has the ability for you to go in and change your name, address, phone number, things like that. So we've gone in and we've changed the name from Escape Plan Georgia over to Impossible Escape Loganville. And what's happened is when you do that, it asks you why. And we've told them, and we've done this like 4 or 5 times now, said, hey, we've purchased this room. We're rebranding it to our national brand. It's going to be called this from now on, blah, blah, blah. Well, you go back like a day later and all of a sudden it's switched back to the old name. So not cool. And we've done, like I said, we've done this 4 or 5 times. And we also changed TripAdvisor. And I got a message this morning from TripAdvisor saying, yeah, we've decided not to change your name. And they put it back as well. So for whatever reason, these 2 companies have decided that they get to tell us what our name is. And for some reason, they want to have incorrect information in their directories. So I was on hold with Yelp. I'll be on hold with them again after this. And I'll be on with TripAdvisor to try to figure out why they are so desperate to have incorrect information in their directories. Now, on the other side of this, if we go to Yelp, the one good thing is that the Hesperia location, so put in escape room. Last I checked, they have not switched this one back again. They did about 3 times. And since that 3rd time, they seem to have accepted that we've changed it. And Yelp again, now it says request timeout. So Yelp seems to be having issues today, or my internet does with Yelp. I'm not sure which it is, but either us or Yelp are having some issues. I haven't had any issues with other sites, but Yelp seems to be having a problem. But the point being is that's one of the places that we're at right now. Michael says that, can you do another listing? Yeah, we can do another listing, but the problem is the companies that we've bought, they've spent the last, 2, 3, 4 years building up a reputation on there. So if we were to start over, we'd lose everything that we had in there. We'd lose our rankings. We'd be competing against ourselves because our other one would still be there and it would still be doing well. And we'd lose all the reviews that we have. So it doesn't make sense to do that. It's better to try and work with them. And hopefully we can do that. Like I said, the other one was TripAdvisor, since Yelp doesn't seem to want to work today. So if we put escape room, Loganville, and you can see it's switched back to Escape Plan Georgia. So something we have to work on. And by the way, Facebook is doing that too. When I go to Facebook and we go to the Facebook page, so let's ignore all the election stuff that's on here. And I'm going to put in Escape Plan just because they keep switching it back. So here's the funny thing with these guys. They've done the same thing. They've switched us back. We changed it. It was Impossible Escape Loganville for a couple days, and then they switched it back to Escape Plan Georgia. I tried it again. They switched it back again. Now our logo, our header, and oddly enough, even our short name, they've got the website in here, impossibleescapeloganville.com, which actually just forwards to the old website for now. But our short name in here is, what does it show? It doesn't show it on there. Anyway, our short name, they've allowed us to change the short name. So we're at Impossible Escape Loganville, but they won't let us change the name. Oh, there it is right there. Impossible Escape Loganville. So they changed that, but they won't let us change the actual title of the page. So, Ringo Starr, welcome. Glad to have you on here. For whatever reason, they don't like to change that, and that's fine. We will certainly work our way around that at some point in time. It's just going to be a matter of persistence and reaching out to them numerous times before they finally do the right thing here. So, as far as the Facebook page, you can see here now we're starting to see our numbers. People reach. It says down 11%. Post engagements down 47%. Well, that's not good. We want to build that back up. But the exciting thing about that is before it was a couple past weeks, the reason it's down 47% is because before it was up like 23,000% or whatever it was. And so now it's coming back to something normal. Going back to Facebook, again, on here, we're posting lots of different content. You hear the games that people played last night. But we've got a review from like what we talked about last week with reputation. That's a reputation graphic. We've got regular posts here. Today is National Candy Day. I guess that should have been 4 days ago. We've got, just you were imperfect. So just a little quote there. So lots of different content going on here. We want to make sure that people can see that we're doing lots and lots of different things. Okay. And that's what's going to keep the engagement up. And it's worked very well. We've actually done a lot of business directly from Facebook and Facebook postings, as well as Nextdoor postings and even LinkedIn postings, believe it or not, have been a big help. So let's take a look, and I'm going to try and do this properly. It's funny because a couple of weeks ago, we tried to do some reports and I couldn't figure them out. And I'm like, I can't remember which reports. And yesterday I went through a bunch of reports and I found how to do the really cool reports and everything. And I came in here just before we were going on to pull some of those up here. And I, once again, couldn't figure out how the heck to do the proper reports for it. So we're going to do it, but it's going to be a little bit, not as streamlined. What I want to do here is I want to go back and let's do a custom thing here because, we've gone through all the different things that we've been doing for the last 6 months. Well, it's not even 6 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it's been since we started here. And we've talked about how it has led to growth. And this past week, this past weekend, we came very close to setting the all-time record for sales, for people that came in, et cetera, for money. And it was only second to about 2 weeks earlier. And so we have done really, really well over the last, look at that. Come on. It went right back to where it was. Boy, everybody wants to switch everything back to where it was. I don't know why they don't want me to do things today. There we go, January. All right, so we're going to generate this here. So I want to show you kind of where we have, because obviously these guys were doing well before COVID. They weren't doing so well after COVID. This is not the report that I want at all. This is something different. My apologies, guys. I do this every time. If I want to run a report, I always mess it up when I get in here, because we don't want an item. We want, man, oh man, let's try under bookings here. I had some bookings by room this month. Okay, I think this is the one that we wanted here this year. Okay, so this is one of the ones that we did earlier. So I can go back and look at this one afterwards, and we can change this around. But okay, so this is one that we pulled up here. So going all the way back to November of 2017, all the way to May of 2019. Wait a minute. Come on. These guys are messing with me, I tell you. There we go. All right. We're going to try this one more time. This is going to break it down by month here so you can kind of see where we're at here. All right. So looking at some of this here, obviously November, we've only been open for one day in November. But in October, let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. October of this year, with all the stuff that we've done, we did 171 bookings, 681 people, and we did well, it says 17,000. That we have to pull the actual we have to pull the actual sales numbers, because I believe actually this is no. This is a little bit different. We need to pull the sales one, because the sales one is actually a little bit better. We just missed making 20,000 on October in this location, which is good. That's one of our long-term goals when we first got this, was to reach 20,000. We were just under it. This shows 18.5 here, but if we pull up the other sales chart thing, you'll see that it was actually like 19.5 or something like that. So we're just a couple $100 short of that. But you can see 171 visitors, okay, or 681 visitors, 171 games. And if we go back, so you figure last year in October would have been, something similar. What did they do then? Well, October of last year, they did 120 bookings and 448 people. So, and $10,000, just over 10,000. So in this month, we've almost doubled what they did there last month. Not doubled the number of people, but doubled the amount of money, and 171 to 120 and 200 extra people in. So you can see we've definitely beaten them out on that. Now, September, I think, was probably a little closer, 122, 498, 104, 420. So we beat them by a little bit there. But money-wise, 10,000, and September we did 13,000. So we beat them by a little bit there. August did 14, and they did in August of that year 10 or 11, 114 and 480. We did 139 and 525. So you can see we're definitely bringing up the growth here. Now, if we go back to just before COVID, so we're talking February, January, we're beating those numbers consistently. They did have a good month here. They did almost 17,000 in December of 2019. So, and they've done, December has been a bigger month. You can see even way back here in 2018, they did almost 16,000. December of 2017, that's when they first opened, so that doesn't really count. But the point being is we're seeing really good growth, and we saw it very quickly. We came in the middle of July, and you can see they opened back up in May. They had a full month of June, and then we took over halfway through July, and you can see our numbers have just really gone way up since we took over then. I mean, in June, they only did 7,700 for the whole, 8,300 for the whole month. And we brought that up to 12, 14, 13, 18, and 600 so far in one day. So that's kind of what we're looking at now. So the point being is that, we can really look at these numbers and see that the things that we're doing made an immediate impact, because, a lot of people said, well, everybody was stuck indoors and they wanted to get out immediately. Well, June didn't really do well for them despite that. And they had started in May. But the minute that we took over in July, and we only had July for half the month, But the first half of the month did not do very well. The second half, when we took over and started doing things, took off very quickly. Sorry, guys. So, okay, so Michael says, well, what did we do to get that up? Well, Michael, if you go back, I'm going to put it in here now so that people can go back and look at these. What we have is, this is week number 12 of this course. So we've got 11 other weeks where we went through all the different things. Let me put it in here. www.raiselinks.com/LMM. You can get into that. That's free. There's no cost to that. You can get in and see the past weeks. During those past weeks, we went through and we looked at, all the different things. We went through Facebook. We went through YouTube. We went through reputation. We went through social media, all the different things that you can do. Advertising. We talked a lot about advertising, which, by the way, our ads are still doing very well. The new location that we took over, they actually have already started to see that same jump in sales almost immediately. And part of the reason is, we're putting together not only marketing practices, but business practices. The way we run the place is vital to the entire platform. And I realize that, some of this may or may not apply to other types of businesses because we're bringing people in as guests versus, going out and fixing plumbing or doing electrical work or being a lawyer. But having those things in place that allow you to do better is really good. Like we're trying to really make sure that there's always somebody there to answer the phone on the first ring, that there's somebody at the front desk when people walk in, just the little things like that, having contests, doing videos. Like we didn't talk a lot about this, but in the room itself, we put a lot of video. So when people come in, they see on the screen, they see kind of menu items, the different rooms and what they cost, but then it plays branding messages. It plays contests that we're doing. It gives them clues and hints about, what they're going to be doing in the room. So we constantly have this loop of video that we're playing all the time. We've also done our rewards program, which we've talked about. We've done upsells. So all of these things have added to what we're doing. And it's just a matter of going out there and not only doing your marketing, doing your advertising, but using some creativity. And the creativity really has helped. The upsells we've seen the upsells skyrocket when people do them. And now I pushed them big. They were going good. And as I've loosened control and let the people here run the place, I've noticed that they're going back into the old habits of not doing the upsells. And so I'm going, hey, we got to do the upsells, And when we put a focused effort on upsells, we bring in a lot of extra money on that day. And it just works. And it's surprising how well it works. I'm talking about people coming out and going, hey, if you book another room right now, for any time in the future, but if you book it today, we'll give you 15% off. Oh, by the way, if you book another room and play it right now, we'll give you 20% off. And you would be shocked how many people will actually jump right on that. It was more than 50%. On the days where we really pushed it and made sure that everybody was asked, it was more than 50% did an upsell. And in some of the cases, those upsells are like, $200 and $300 because they have a group of 8 or they have a group of 10 or they have a group of 6. So it's a good thing. It's a really big difference when you add those upsells into those things. So that to me, is another big part of this is you've got to get in there. You got to do some kind of upsells. Michael, in your case, you've got the bouncy houses. Hey, by the way, if you want to, you're going to have 50 kids. Well, you might want to have this second bouncy house here, for the older kids where they can hit each other with pugil sticks and, that kind of a thing. And that, that can go a long way. Give them a reason to buy a second bouncy house for that Saturday party that they're doing. Which hopefully for you, they're starting to do parties again. And I think they are. So that would be big, boom, get that second one going. Hey, you could probably use a secondary one. You got 50 kids. This isn't going to be enough. You might want to have a second one. We'll give it to you for 20% off, that kind of a thing. At the parties, think of the upsells. Think of the upsells, liability. Yeah, I get it. In your case, especially liability. But the other thing too is, at the parties. How many of those parents that are there are going to have a party for one of their kids in the next 6 months that you can get hooked in right then? And you could even work with the actual party person, whoever's throwing the party. Go to that mom and say, hey, you know what? We'd like to, let the others know that they have a deal. We'll even give them a special deal, and we'll give you, $10 for everybody that comes on, or whatever you want to give them. And then that way the person throwing the party could get a little bit of a kickback on that too. Snow cone machines. Yep. Yeah, that's right. I forgot you have the snow cone machine too. Yeah. Cotton candy. I love it. Yeah. So any of those types of things, just get those upsells going. And like I said, you'd be shocked how often people do it. In the online marketing world, we kind of get accustomed to the upsell type thing and people get annoyed by it. But, outside of that, people are used to that kind of thing. Do you want fries with that? Do you want, you want to make that a large for 25 cents more? People are used to those types of things. Yeah, we get annoyed by it in the internet marketing world, but as annoyed as we might get, it works. In the internet marketing world, those upsells do work. Now, you may not get 50%, but you're going to get a decent percentage that are going to upsell. And that's what we really want to push, is that get those upsells, because that can make a big difference. And when we look at the numbers here, and, like I've said in the past, these numbers are kind of funny because when you think about a physical business that has rent and power and internet and employees and everything, these numbers, you're like, man, how do you survive and do anything with that? Well, of course, it's all scale. But I can tell you, going back, a lot of the increase that we saw right here starting in July and August were because we were pushing those upsells to help get, some of that going. Yeah, we had more people coming in. Yes, our ads were bringing a lot of people in, but we were upselling to help bring that money up per person, because that's the other part of it that, the old saying is there's only 3 ways to make money. You can get a new customer. You can sell more items to that customer. Well, it's 4 really. Or you can get them to buy more often, or you can raise your prices. So those are the only 4 ways you're going to make more money. And quite honestly, if you can make more money from the customers that are already there, it's going to be a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get a customer to go from $50 to $75 than it is to get another client to come through the door. So upselling is a huge part of that, but you got to always be hustling with that. You always got to be providing it. You always got to be telling people about it. And that's one of the things that we have to really work on here, is getting everybody to constantly, consistently do those upsells. And by the way, we incentivize employees for this. So that's another thing you may want to do. Our employees, if they do, book another one today and we'll give you 10%, 15% off, they get a cut of that sale. Okay. So they're getting paid hourly, but they get a cut of that sale. If they do any of those upsells, they get a cut of that. And that way, they have a reason to really push these things to, in order to, get more out of it. Another thing with the employees, another incentive program, by the way, and this is one that a friend of mine who does, he does pest control, pest control. Yeah, he's pest control. What he does is, as soon as somebody comes out to do the pest control, so they spray in their pest control stuff there. As soon as that technician is ready to leave, the homeowner, the technician, says, "Ooh, I'm done." The homeowner immediately gets a text, and the text says, "By the way, how would you like to, tip your service person $5 without having to pay for it?" And, oh, okay. So what happens is, if they leave a review right then and there, that salesperson gets $5. And so the homeowner, all they have to do is leave a review to tip that salesperson. Hopefully they liked that salesperson enough to leave the review. And of course, the review now becomes, something that they can use for marketing. So that's what we want to make sure that we're doing, is getting all those upsells out there to help bring that up. These are the numbers that we're talking about here. We've seen those increases. We will pull the numbers of the other location, but since it's only been a couple of weeks and one of the games wasn't even working and we just had to fix it, we'll wait a couple weeks and we'll show some of those numbers. But all the things that we've been doing on this one is what we're doing there. We're already seeing those increases coming in. Now, speaking of what we're doing, another little secret to put out there is we're looking at a third location right now already. And I know we're going to have to go through the exact same process again. So what I've started doing, and I'm going to share this with you guys once it's ready, is a new business marketing setup. So this is the setup that you're going to need if you start working with a new business. So if you take on a client, if you have a business and you haven't been doing your marketing, or if you're going to buy a new business, start a new business, this is going to be everything that you need to know that you've got to get done. Now, I've only gotten through a portion of it, and there it is, the phone again. And Trucks, are you still here? Can you get that? Gotta love it. Glad he stuck around. So this is going to give you everything that you need to go through and make sure that you get done. And I'm still adding to this. This is, I started building this list yesterday and been kind of adding to it slowly. But for instance, and I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't think I can I blow it up? Yeah, I can blow it up a little bit. Okay. So let's see if we can. There we go. Getting new business right now. I can hear them in there. All right. So you can see you're going to need to get login access and create the following or create the following. So you need the website, whether it's WordPress or some other login, you need to get that information or set it up. If this is a new business for you, you're starting from scratch, you need to set this up. A hosting account. If they already have one, you need to get access or you need to set one up. You need to get access to whatever email platform they're using. And I'm not talking about email marketing. I'm talking about the actual email that you use that customers reach you at and whatnot. We'll talk about, the email marketing platforms as well later. You need to remove older email accounts. So if you got a business that you're taking over and there's old email accounts in there, you need to make sure that you're taking those over and getting rid of them or keeping them, but making sure that other people don't have access to them. We've already had issues where past owner of one of the businesses has gone in and is looking at the numbers and stuff long after they sold the place. And, that's not cool. So make sure you get people out of those things. You need to set up your Facebook page and or groups. Don't forget groups. Groups can be a big part of your marketing if you can set one up that makes sense for your particular niche. Set up a YouTube channel or get access to it. You need to have them make you a manager or an owner on that YouTube channel. You need to get access to the Instagram, the Twitter, the Pinterest, the LinkedIn business page if they have one. They probably don't. But if they don't, you need to get access to it. And all of these things, if they don't have them, you need to create them. Create the Twitter, create the Pinterest, create the LinkedIn business page. TikTok. It's a new one that we're starting to really get into. I don't know if that's going to stick around or not because of all the political issues with it, but that's another one. If they have one, you got to get access to it. And if not, you probably should start thinking about creating one. Google My Business. This one, probably the most important. You need this right away to make your changes and to make it better. You need to get access to Yelp, TripAdvisor, Yellow Pages, Super Pages, DexKnows, Merchant Circle, HotFrog, Flickr, and there's about a dozen other ones that you definitely want to make sure that you get a handle on to either create or get access to. Flickr, HotFrog, Merchant Circle, they probably don't have those, but you need to check and see if there are listings because a lot of times there'll be listings that nobody has claimed. So you want to make sure that you get all of these so that you can make sure all the information is correct so they can go back and change it back on you and, aggravate you. Any associated Stripe accounts, you need to make sure that you either are getting access to that Stripe account that's part of the business or that you're switching it to yours and making sure that that old Stripe account is gone because you don't want the others to be getting your money in any way. Any merchant processing software, and of course, any marketing programs they use. So for instance, if they're already using, Bright Social, you need to get access to that Bright Social or whatever it is they happen to be using. Very, very important. And then, like I said, I've only started to get into this, but I've started in the Facebook and Google My Business, but you need to make sure that you're optimizing all of those things. I will finish this up and I will put it into the membership area so that you guys can download and use this on your businesses because it's going to be, as we do this, I have a very tough time keeping up and doing all of this myself. So I'm going to need to be able to give this to somebody else to work on some of these things. And if I don't have the perfect checklist for that, things are going to fall through the cracks. And, obviously if a few things fall through the cracks, it's not going to be the end of the world, but we want to give ourselves the best possible position by making sure we do all of this. Let's see. Michael says, is there any app that I can let people use to register guests for their own parties? You know what? That is a great question, and I don't think I have an answer for that one. I'm sure there probably are, but I don't Yeah, I would guess there's probably some party planner style software, because I know for escape room, I was shocked at how many softwares there are specific to escape rooms for doing different things like waivers and taking pictures afterwards and posting pictures and, keeping scores that people did and top tens. There's a ton of softwares out there. I'm sure there's got to be one for the party planning. I'm just not sure what it is. We use Fair Harbor. So Michael says we would need that as well. And we do have that. It's just not specifically that way. So what, in our case, what it is everybody who comes in, it has to sign a waiver. So they're put into the system that way. But we don't have one beforehand unless they fill it out beforehand. That's going to keep track of everybody until then. But I'm sure there's softwares out there that do it. Yeah. So yeah, let people build the party and you get access to the guest list. In fact, you know what? Michael, I'm going to talk to my wife because she was not doing party planning. She was doing, what's the word on the travel? And she had an app that she would give to, like, let's say John Smith comes in and is going to book a travel, and he's got a party of 10, they're going to go traveling, blah, 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 whatever. Well, he's put into the system to be the person who's the setup person. She provided them with an app where all the people on there could sign in as one of the guests, and they would get access to luggage checklists and all sorts of travel information and digital this and that to hold like your cards and it was basically, it gathered all the different people's information. Even though she only got the person setting up the party at the time, she would get access to all those people that were using that. And so, yeah, I know there's softwares out there that will do that. And if not, well, let's talk. We can probably have one built. So we just know who we wouldn't use to build the software, right, Michael? Wink, wink. Long story there, but we could probably get that built. Let's talk about that at some other time to see if we can do something with that, because that might be a good idea to put that together, and then we could even sell it and not only take benefit from it, but actually sell it to others, which is what a lot of the softwares in the industry, that's what they are. These people built them for themselves and then sold them out to the other game room owners and whatnot. So, all right. So I will be working on this, and I will provide this in the members area so that you guys can have access to this as well, because I think it's going to be a really good thing to have. Bariani says, how do we get it later? So the link it's raiselinks.com/LMM. And in there, that's where all the past lessons are. And we'll also put that in there. So there's resources that are in there already, links and things like that. So we'll put it inside the members area so that you can get access to it. And we'll let you know, once I have it ready. Hopefully I'd have it ready by next week. So I'll let you know exactly where that is once I put that up there to make sure that you get access to that. So, all right, beyond that, now that we have that, I wanted to get into one other topic today, because it's a topic that we touched upon last week a little bit. We were talking about the reputation marketing, and we mentioned the reputation videos, and we didn't really look very closely at that because we were kind of busy doing the reputation stuff. So I want to go into that a little bit. And Mark, I see your question there. I will jump at that in a minute, or if we don't get to that, I'll talk to you privately about that. Well, actually, I'll mention it right now. Mark asked, because now everyone's going to go, what's he asking about? Mark asked my opinion on Flicksters. And if you don't know what Flicksters is, it's a new software that kind of gives you, they said it's like having your own Netflix. I keep referring to it as having your own YouTube. And so it's a program where you can bring in all of your videos into your own channel that you run. So you have full control over what videos are there. You have full control over branding. You don't have to worry about YouTube coming in and banning something. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. You have full control. And it looks a lot like YouTube too. So that's why I kind of compare it more to YouTube than Netflix. But Mark, I love it. I'm actually in. If you saw, if you can see my Skype messages back and forth between them, I've been doing a lot of back and forth with them because I love that program, and I keep going, oh, you know what you should do? You should add this, and they're like, okay, we can add that, yeah. So we're going back and forth to make that even better. Even though I have no stake in it other than being a user, I'm doing a lot with it because it is a very cool program, and I love the fact that you have control versus YouTube. You don't have to worry about them banning you and stuff, and you even have embedded videos. So when you bring a video into Flixsters, you have your channel just like you'd have a YouTube channel, but you can also grab your embed code just like you do on YouTube and put it on your website. And that's a really cool feature. And you can bring other videos from YouTube over to that at the click of a button. So I do love it, Mark, just to jump in there and say that. All right, water break there. Okay, so going back into our videos, let me see if I've got this open here somewhere. And I'm sure I do, but maybe it's over here. Sorry, while you guys watch me figure this out. Here we go. So, hey, look at that. We're working on reputation just like last time. It's probably going to make me log in again here. We shall see. Okay, so we're going to jump into rep videos for a second. And it's 1:41, so this won't be too long. We'll try to keep it to that 1 hour mark as best we can here. But I wanted to mention the rep videos because it is another big part of what we do. And we will, we'll want to take a look at that. All right, I've got people saying, where's the link to Flixsters? All right, I will put it in here. Since you guys are forcing me to be a marketer now, I'll put that in here. So it's RayTheVideoGuy.com. Now, don't laugh, but when I created the page, I spelled Flixsters wrong. So it still is spelled wrong. So it says Fixsters instead of Flixsters. I don't know if anybody noticed that already, but so yeah, it says Fixsters. Well, and then I spelled it wrong there anyway. So ignore that. Let's try this again. http://www.fixsterz.com. Boy. All right, guys. Yeah, I spelled a lot of things wrong. Okay, let's try this one more time because now I totally screwed it up. http://www.raythevideoguy.com/Fixsterz. Fixsters. All right. Woo! Okay, we made it through that. Ignore those other ones. I am losing my mind here. So yes, ignore those first two. It's that last one, raythevideoguy.com/Fixsters. And there you go. Yeah, I know. Tom's making fun of my spelling here. All right. So anyway, let's look at the rep videos for a second, and then we'll get out of here. Rep videos, for those of you who don't know, this is a great tool for creating videos out of your reputation, your 5-star reputation. So what it does is it takes, if you've got, let's say you get a 5-star review on Yelp or Google, it's going to take that information and make a video out of it, and then it's going to distribute that video out. And you can see here under, it still says under Escape Plan Georgia, you can see we got 27 of them that we've done over the last couple months. And then even for Escape This, actually Escape This doesn't have any because it's under Impossible Escape already. So we'll come over here. Let's see, Impossible Escape Hesperia. You can see we've done 5 of them. So, well, we've done 4 of them. We got 5 in the hopper ready to go out right now. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to open up the Escape Plan Georgia one for now, which again, this is going to change because it's going to be Impossible Escape. I got a lot of changing to do, But you can see here, these are the videos, and you can see they've been distributed out already. This one went out on the 3rd, which was yesterday. This one went out on the 26th. This one went out on the 4th, the 1st, 9/25. You can see that nice gap there where I was busy doing the other stuff and didn't have anything going. I do have Justin helping me get these set up now because what happens is you can set them up for up to a year. But typically I'll go in and I'll do the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then I'll get busy and I'll forget that the 4 or 5 weeks ran out. And that's why I've got Justin doing it now to make sure that it gets done. But the videos are created and then they are distributed out to, in this case here, it's going out to a Tumblr account, actually 2 Tumblr Tumblr accounts, Twitter account, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can also do Daily Motion. I don't have Daily Motion on here just because, quite honestly, creating Daily Motion accounts are a pain in the butt, and I still have to do it, and I just haven't done it yet. So that's total laziness on my part. So do not be like me. Make sure you get all of them done that you can. But to take a look at the videos, we can actually go out. Let's go to YouTube here, and I'll kind of let you see what these are. Oh, let's see. Oh, let's try opening that again. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, can't get right directly to it from there. Come on. YouTube link. There you go. Okay. Okay, so you can see Escape Plan Georgia.
Great feedback is the best reward. We work hard to make sure.
Okay, so they start out with a person on screen, an actor, and you've got your logo here, which thankfully this logo is gone now. We're going to be using the new one. It says Escape Plan Georgia. In the future, it's not going to say that. It's going to say Impossible Escape Hesperia. And she talks for a minute talking about how great 5-star reviews are, blah, blah, blah. And then it actually shows the 5-star review on an iPad. There are different setups that you can have besides just the iPad on a background. And this is animated, so the guy's hands move and stuff like that. But it actually puts the review that the person left for you in there. And this person loves exclamation points. It's going to go through and talk about the reviews there. And then she's going to come back on to close it out with a call to action. And then it's going to have your contact information here at the end. Nice and easy. So there's, oh, Mark, you're kidding me. Mark asked about the Flicksters, and I talked about it, but his computer flaked out. Well, we can talk about that later. So, but there you go. That's what these videos are that are created. Now, the great thing about this is created automatically for you. Once you set these up, and you can set up, like I said, an entire year's worth, you don't have to do anything afterwards. Okay, so what you would do here is when you start this up, you go to your setup, you put in your new company. In fact, you know what? Let's make our changes right now while we're in here. So we're going to change this to Impossible Escape Loganville. I think I said Hesperia a minute ago, but that's the other one. None of this changes. The website is going to change. So I'm going to change this here to Impossible Escape Loganville. Now you'll notice here I didn't put HTTP and all that stuff there, and there's actually a reason why I didn't do that. If you can see on the end screen here, it puts in your website. It's going to put in whatever is in here. So if you've got http://www.impossibleescapeloganville, it's going to put all of that in here, and it's going to look messy. So I just remove that and put that in here. Now the downside to that is anywhere where it's going to put your website automatically in your description, it's not going to be a clickable link. But fortunately, I like to customize mine anyway, so I make sure that I've got the clickable link in there without that. Sorry, up here, that's the email. And down here, you got your decision maker and you've got your project manager. In this case, both me. If you're working with a client, you can be the project manager and the owner of the company could be the decision maker. So everything that you do will get sent to them so they can see what's going on there. Let's see what Michael says must be a PC, but I think I missed the, oh, wow. Michael making the PC jokes now. All right. I think I'm starting to sway him after 10 years. Stu says, what outreach strategy have you implemented to get local businesses talking about your services? Oh, that's a good one, Stu. Give me a minute and we'll talk about that as well. That's funny. See, Mark said, talking back to Michael, he says, how'd you know it's a new Acer? You're an omniscient Apple snob, ? No, Mark. Michael is a staunch PCer, and I've busted his beans on that for 10 years now. So it's ironic when he said that, which is kind of funny. So, what software is this? This is Rep Videos, Alexis. And if you go into, raiselinks.com/LMM to get into the past weeks, there's links to this software and all the software that we use in there. So you'll be able to get access to that as well. You'll be able to see what that does, Rep Videos, and a webinar. So you can see the webinar as well and kind of go through it all. But that's inside the membership area. So be sure to go there and check it out and get inside there. And maybe I'll post it down here in a minute as well. Anyway, so we're going to put all that information in here. So now we've updated that. We can save this. Now, the great thing about this software is when you first come in here, if you're bringing in a brand new company, when you start to put this in, it's going to recognize the company and pull it in from Google automatically and fill it in for you if they find it. And as long as you're in Google, they usually do find it. If they don't, it means there's other issues with your listing in Google that you need to fix anyway. Okay, so once that's in here, we go to site logins. Now, what this is here, this actually is just a tool where you can put in your website login, and it's kind of like LastPass. It just stores it for you. It doesn't actually do anything. It just stores it in there. Social setup. This is where you're going to add your different social media sites that you're going to distribute your video out to. And you can see we've got YouTube, Dailymotion, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you just connect all of those by clicking on the button. So like for Dailymotion, once I get the Dailymotion set up, I would click on this here. It's going to pop open a window. It's going to ask me to sign in. And then, oh, well, actually it looks like maybe we do have a Dailymotion there. That'd be kind of funny. I haven't been using it, but it's there. That'd be sweet. So, okay. Well, there you go. We actually do have a Dailymotion. So now we're connected to Dailymotion as well. So that's how easy it is to do that. Now, every time you make a video, it's going to automatically send out to these here, okay, to all of these different sites. You've also got your video options. This is where you can choose to put your logo. So we're going to change that logo. We're going to do that right now. We're going to upload a new logo. So I'm going to go out here and let's see, where did I put those logos is the big question. I believe it's in here. We're going to go into, actually it's under escape this and here and logo. And we got PNGs and JPEGs. I think I'm going to go with so we've got a few different options in here of different ones that we've created. Both JPEG and PNG. And I'm going to go with the PNG one. And I think I'm going to go with the blue, I think, just to make it stand out a little bit there. We'll see how that looks. So you can come in here, and now you can adjust this to fit in there. Now, the one issue you can see here is that it's going to cut off part of the logo there. So we want to mess with this. It's going to be a little bit off-centered. Maybe we'll go back and we'll change that a little bit at a future date, but I'm going to save that in there for now. Give that a second to load up. Okay, and now we can remove this one. Oh, I think I got rid of the other one too. Uh-oh, let's try that again. You guys get to watch me fumble around here. All right, so there we go. Let's save that. There we go. And so now Impossible Escape is on there. So we got orange and we got red. If we wanted to change the color because of that, we could, but quite honestly, the red is really where it's going to be at with that. Oops, that's the background. We want to use our custom background. So we got a couple of them in here. Just like that. Okay. Now this actor, by the way, is not necessarily the actor that's going to be in your video. This is just a placeholder to show you what it will look like on the background. And you'll have actual options to move her around. Just like so. So you could have her in different spots on the screen if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to leave her in the center because why not? And down here, like I said, you can choose the iPad style. So you've got an image and you've got the live. The live is the one we saw with the hands, and it's actually a live video, but you can change that to one of the image formats here, and there's a few different formats that you can choose from. Okay, so you can have it look like that instead. Go back here. You can choose one of the different ones. But personally for me, I like the live one. And you don't even have to keep it random. You can actually choose different ones that you like and see which one you like and save that. So we're going to save the video settings. Before we do that, though, you do have your action banner here. Click the link in the description below. That's what shows up on that end screen. And you can choose the customer type. In our case, we chose guest. But depending upon the business, you can choose customer, member, client, patient, subscriber. But in our case, I like guest because they are visiting us as guests. Thumbnail, you can actually choose a custom thumbnail, which I have here. Okay. I'm going to have to change that because, it's going to need to be a thumbnail that says Impossible Escape now, but I'm going to leave that as is for the moment. Over here, this is where you got your title and your description. Now, this is where you want to use some of the stuff that we've taught in the YouTube area. you want to have a nice title here. This is spinnable so that every video is going to be slightly different. So like right here, you can see it's all going to say Loganville Escape Room, which is something we always want to have in there. And then it's going to choose between excellent, outstanding, exceptional, superb, amazing, wonderful, incredible, remarkable, great, impressive, terrific, or perfect. And then either 5-star or 5-star review for Escape Plan Georgia. Now we're going to change this to Impossible Escape Loganville. Okay. And then same thing down here. So we're going to want to change the website. Now notice I put the website in with the HTTPS because if we used one of the tokens here to put the website in, it's not going to have the HTTPS and it won't be clickable because we took off the HTTPS so it looked good on the end screen. But you can put it in here manually, which is what we did. We're going to change this now to Impossible Escape Loganville. Okay, phone number, Impossible Escape. Hey, welcome to the first escape room in Loganville. You can see this here is going to bring in the review that you're using here. It's going to be popping in here, okay, based on that token of review. And you can choose tokens from in here, and it's going to fill that in automatically with one of the reviews. Then check out our featured escape rooms. You can see we've got a description of each of the rooms. And then we've got our name, address, phone number here as well. And we're going to change that once again to Impossible Escape Loganville. And then down here, we'll change this as well. Impossible Escape Loganville.com. Okay. And then this here is the link to the GMB. Now, this is not going to be correct anymore. So we need to grab the correct GMB for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new tab here. I'm going to go to maps.google.com. I'm going to type in Escape Room Loganville. I guess I could have just put the name in, but we'll put that there anyway just to see. Okay, so you can see this one does say Impossible Escape Loganville now. So Google had no problem changing it. Yelp and TripAdvisor I'm fighting with. So once we're in here, what you're going to do is click this share button right here, and you're just going to copy this link. And we're going to go back to our video. If I can find where we were. There we are. And I'm going to paste that in there, okay? And so that's going to be a direct link so people can see our 5-star reviews. Now, down here, we've got see some of our 5-star see some offer. Let's change that of our 5-star reviews. Now, let's take a look because this may have changed as well. I'm not sure. Because we changed the name, I'm not sure if those links will change. So let's take a look. We'll paste this in here and see where it goes to. And it goes to Impossible Escape. Okay, so that's fine. So what we did was we put in a bunch of 5-star reviews. There we go. That we have here. And the way we get those is by coming in here, opening up your reviews, and you'll see there's a share button there. And you can just copy that link and paste that in. I usually like to put 3 to 5. And, but however many you want to put in there is going to be helpful. That's going to give you deep linking from your videos back to your GMB, which is going to help the GMB to rank better, okay? Once we have all of these things done, we simply hit video save, and now we're good. So now we're going to go to our review inbox. You can see here we've got all these Google and Yelp reviews in here already. And it's going to know, based on the information you put in about the business, it's going to find your Google, it's going to find your Yelp, and it's going to pull in all of those reviews so that you can use them to make videos. And you can see there's a refresh button here to refresh it and bring in new ones. I'm not going to click that because it can take a couple minutes and we don't want to waste time. So from any of these here, we can choose one of these to use for our video that we're going to create. Now, we might want to go with a Yelp one this time. This one here, this one's got a nice long paragraph. I like this. So I'm going to hit this and I'm going to, oh, that's already scheduled. Sorry. I'm going to go to one of these ones up here that's not already scheduled. Like this one here, we had an awesome time. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll grab that by clicking here. And again, who's that? The third phone call since we've been on here. Third phone call. So I wouldn't have gotten a phone call the rest of the day otherwise. All right, so here you can choose spokesmodel or no spokesmodel. Yes, we want that. This is a buyer review. We're adding a written review. You can choose in here from, actually, we want online review box. Sorry. Written review is where you're literally going to copy and paste one in from somewhere. So maybe you got your own that you use. We're going to do online review box. We're going to produce this, and you can choose the date that you want to produce it. So we're going to go all the way into January because these are the ones that I've got produced for the next few weeks. So actually, we'll do an extra one on Saturday. Oh, actually, it's already, yeah, there we go. So we're going to save that date. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Let me check this one thing here. Oh, see, we've got syndication date. So let's turn the syndication date off for 1 second. Now we're going to come in here and we're going to put one on November 7th. We'll save that date. Okay, now we'll turn on syndication because the problem is it was trying to syndicate on the 3rd and produce on the 7th, which obviously you can't syndicate something that isn't produced for another 4 days. So now we'll come in here, we'll choose the syndication date, which we'll also choose on the 7th. So it's going to make this video and then it's going to send this video out all on the 7th. Okay, and then down here we can choose where we want it to go. So we want it to go to YouTube, Dailymotion, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, and Tumblr. Okay, and that's where it's going to syndicate that out. You can do optimization here. We already did optimization in our defaults, so we don't need to do anything here. We did full optimization a minute ago, but if you wanted to, you could use this to put in a main keyword, a city, a website, etc. We don't need to do that. Okay. Do you want agency branding? Yes or no? I always say no. Yes means it's going to put created by, act now, and have a phone number. We don't want that. I hate that. So we're going to hit next step. And there we go. Now we can, oh, poodoo. We have to choose again. Sorry, guys. Because we changed it on the thing and now we have to choose our review again. So we'll just choose, we'll just choose this one. So remove the one that we had when I was playing with it a minute ago. So now we just choose another one at the end here. Hit next step. And there we go. This is kind of a preview of what it's going to be like. Okay. Hit next step again. We can override any of those video features, by the way. So anything we set as the default, we can change here if we want to, but obviously we don't want to change any of that. So we're good. I'm going to hit finish and give it a second and boom. Now our video is processed. So that video is going to go out on the 7th. This will actually connect with that one as we saw last week. So you'll see your graphics that are going out and your videos that are going out for reputation. But this is a great program for, if you've got a business, this is great for you. If you're a marketing company, this is a tremendous software to have to use for your clients. We've got clients that do 4 videos a week, believe it or not. He's got 4 locations and he does 4 videos, 1 video for each location every single week. So we do 16 videos for him every single month that we charge him for the entire year. And I don't have to touch it again. So, all right, with that, it is 2:03. So we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes, 3 minutes past what we promised. So we're going to get you guys out of here. If you have any last second comments, throw them in there. I'll answer them. But, if not, we will reconvene next week. And be sure to head on over to the membership area. I'm going to put it back in here again. I'm going to try and spell everything properly this time. www.raiselinks.com/LMM. And it doesn't cost anything if you haven't already set up your membership. It's free to do so. Just jump in there and do that. How do you get to the Rep Videos site? We got a couple people asking that. Do you have to have your own accounts with all the social networks? Yes, you send them to, well, it could be your client's accounts or your accounts. You just have to be able to connect to them. So in our case with this, it's my accounts because I created them. So I'm going to put the Rep Videos in here just so you guys have it because a few people are asking. And let me make sure I get it correct here. So where is my Easy Links? There it is. I'm going to open up Easy Links. I'm going to go to Rep Videos. And let me see. Rep Video. Here, let me type in Rep Videos. Oh, it logged me out. All that searching for nothing. All right, let's try that again. Rep Videos. Okay, so this is the webinar replay. So we did a webinar on this a while ago. So if you want to watch the webinar, I highly recommend you do that. This is the webinar page to watch that. And this is the actual checkout page, which I think now, it used to literally be a checkout page. I think it's actually a sales page with information on it now. Let me double check and see. It used to literally be just the checkout. Let me see if they've changed that. Yeah. So now you actually can read about it and learn all about it in here as well. And then you can sign up. So that's the Rep Videos page there. You can learn a lot about the features. Like down here, you can see provide amazing service at push button speeds, blah, blah, blah. But you saw all that in my thing. But watch the webinar. You're going to get a whole ton out of it. Not only what Rep Videos is, but you're going to learn a whole lot about marketing in general, because he teaches some really cool stuff. Let's see. All right. So with that, again, we're past the hour mark, so I'm going to let you guys get out of here, but be sure to get into the members area. I will post that document as soon as I can, as soon as I have it ready, probably for by the time next week's class is ready, we'll do that. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.